this who you are, son? Huh? This who you are, son? Is this who we went to be? Faggot! Answer me!
I will never forget that day.
Who are you? You are not this!
I stood there in my yard,
This is not you!
not knowing what to think or how to
You're our son! How can you do this to your mother and I?
I'm following the lines, looking for the answers to a prayer.
feel. As my father threw my last piece of clothing and went inside, I knew. I could see it on the look in my mother's eyes. I could see it in the disappointment in her face. And I could see it when she threw that book out at me. I knew. I knew that I was no longer welcome. I was devastated because my own parents could not accept the love I had for another person. But most importantly, they couldn't accept who I was. I had nowhere to go. I was beaten and I was robbed. I had to find some way to survive. But I learned very quickly. Things usually never went my way. I was attacked. There were nights I woke up alone. And I clung to the one thing I knew would keep me going. And there were nights I wasn't alone. Because I had to find a way to make money. All of the struggle, heartbreak, and betrayal led up to this moment. I knew one way to make the pain all go away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey kid!
I just wish my life was different. Sometimes I wonder if I'll have gay children. I'm not sure if other parents think about this, but I do. Quite often. Maybe it's because I know so many gay people. Maybe it's because it's in my genes. Maybe it's because I've heard so many horror stories of gay Christian kids. From both inside and outside of the closet, trying so hard to be part of the church. Or maybe it's because as a Christian, I interact with so many people who find homosexuality to be the most repulsive thing unimaginable, and who make that abundantly clear at every conceivable opportunity. For whatever reason, it's something that I ponder all the time, but I want to make something abundantly clear. I have gay children, you guys will know it. My children will not be our family's best kept secret. I won't use code or vague language around my children. And I won't try to spare the feelings of the older generation, ones who may be uncomfortable or easily offended by my child's choice. Childhood is already difficult, and most gay teens and kids spend their entire existence being horribly, excruciatingly uncomfortable. So I'm not going to put mine through any more unnecessary discomfort, just to make Thanksgiving dinner a little easier for the third cousin who has just a little bit of an anger issue. If my child comes out, we come out as a family. If I have gay children, I'll pray for them. I won't pray for them to be made normal. I've lived long enough to know that this is their normal. I won't pray that God will heal or change or fix them. I will pray for God to protect them from the ignorance and the hatred that the world will throw at them just because they don't know who they are. I will pray that God will shield them from those who will despise them and wish them harm, who will curse them to hell and will put them through hell without ever knowing them as a person at all. I will pray to God that they'll enjoy life, that they'll laugh and dream and feel and forgive, and that they'll love God and humanity. Above all, I'll pray to God that my children won't allow the ungodly treatment that they might receive from some of His misguided children. And I pray that they won't let that treatment stop them from pursuing Him and getting to know Him. If my kids are gay, I'll love them. And I don't mean some token, distant, tolerant, at arm's length kind of love. The love that I'm referring to will be an extravagant, open-hearted, unapologetic, lavish, embarrassing in the cafeteria type of love. I won't love them despite their sexuality, and I won't love them because of it. I will love them simply because they're sweet, and funny, and caring, and kind, and stubborn, and flawed, and original, and beautiful. I will love them because they're mine. If my kids are gay, they may doubt a million things about themselves and about this world, but the one thing they will never have a doubt about is that their daddy loves them no matter what. If my kids are gay, I pretty much have to accept the fact that they are gay. If my kids are going to be gay, they pretty much already are. God has already created them and wired them and placed the seed of who they are within them. Psalms 139 says that He stitched them together in their mother's womb. The incredible, intricate stuff that makes them uniquely them was already uploaded in their very cells. Because of that, there isn't a coming deadline on their sexuality. I refuse to believe that there's some magical expiration date approaching by which time I, in the future, will have to somehow say or pray just the right things to make my child turn straight, or I'll forever lose them to the other side. They are today, or in the future, simply a younger version of who they will be. And in the future, I know they're going to be pretty darn great. I know many of you may be offended by all of this. I fully realize that. I know this may be especially true if you are a religious person, one who finds the whole topic disgusting. You may be praying for me to repent, or you may be preparing to unfriend me, or just write me off as a plain, sinful person. But with as much gentleness and understanding as I can muster, I really couldn't care less. You have to understand this isn't about you. This is a whole lot bigger than you. You aren't going to be the one that I wait breathlessly over for 9 months. You're not going to be the one that I weep over with joy the day you were born. You're not going to be the one that I bathe and feed and rock to sleep through countless midnight snuggle sessions. You're not going to be the one that I teach to ride a bike, or whose knee I kiss when it gets scraped, or whose tiny little hand I hold when it gets stitched. You aren't going to be the one whose head I love to smell, or whose face will light up when I come home at night, or whose laughter is like music to my weary soul. You're not going to be the one who gives my days meaning and purpose, and who I adore more than ever, like I couldn't adore anything else. And the one thing that I know for certain is that I know you're not going to be with me when I take my last precious breath on this planet, gratefully looking back on a lifetime of shared treasures, and resting in the knowledge that I love you well. Those things belong to my children, the children that I'm going to have someday in the future. One day, despite your perceptions of your kids, or how you've parented, you may need to respond in real time to a frightened, frantic, hurting child, one whose sense of peace and identity and acceptance, whose very heart may be placed in your hands in a way you never imagined, and you'll need to respond. If that day should ever come for me, if my children should ever come out to me telling me that they're gay, this is the dad that I hope I'll be to them. I want to be the father, the daddy who accepts them, who loves them.
Do you?